Haha! Good evening. Hello. Welcome to the Dice Gods Live. My name is Hydra. It's Monday night. It's time for my hobby hangout. I've got to come up with a better name than that. I really do. But before we get to all the fun stuff, I need to go and do all the admin, because admin's definitely a thing. They don't tell you this when you sort of start out doing your stuff. No one mentions that admin is a thing, but admin is very much a thing when you're like doing this kind of gig. It's just very much a thing. So, right, what's going on? Yay! I just got to make sure everything's alive and then post it everywhere apart from the most important place to post it, because I forgot last week to send it to Discord. Why would I possibly send it to my Discord? Why? That's a very good question. So bear with me while I do all the stuff. Hopefully this is it. That's gone over there, that's gone over there, that's gone over there. Discord, where are you? There we are. Yay! And it's on Discord. Look at that. That's amazing. I think we're about there. So we put this here. So Twitch goes over, just so you know, Twitch goes over there. I've just broken Twitch. No, I haven't. Twitch is fine. And then YouTube is here. There we go. Boo! Oh dear God. Hello, Chris. Can we crank that mic up? Oh God. Me and mics, it's an issue. I think there's something in my software that every week screws around with the sound settings. I'm going to test that theory. Device properties. Right. Is that good? Is that really? Oh my God, that's too loud. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. I just clicked notification on the phone. Still it works. So good luck. Thank you, Evandro. Appreciate it. Good evening. Hello there. General Kenobi, indeed. How are we all? How is everybody this evening? Ah, Neil's in the house. Outstanding. Good, good, good. Better, 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 better. Yeah, something in my software is turning down the volume of my mic on a semi-regular basis. This is incredibly helpful and definitely a feature that we all needed. Just didn't know. Ba-da-ba-bum. Yay! Got to turn my phone up with your streams. It's better now. Ah! Okay, yeah, I need to sort that out. I think there's something, like I say, I think there's something with my software here that's just not doing the do. So that's really annoying. It's been a week of really annoying. So it's going to be an incredibly positive stream, but... Oh, hi Chris. Thank you for oh, that is incredibly generous. Thank you very much. Damn, Minecraft. I know, it's brilliant. I actually have, I know this will come as a surprise to all of you, but sometimes when I'm shooting a video, I'll screw it up completely, stop the recording, and start the recording again. And then when I come to edit it, the audio levels on the two pieces of video are incredibly different. Like one will be 50% of the volume of the other. But all I did is hit stop and start. Have fun, Evandro. Thank you for popping in. So that's it. Yeah, it's very weird yeah. I'd say that was the case, but you have to remember that I started playing LF. That was my first faction. So surely, if it was LF, they would be helping, not hindering. But it's definitely hindering, not helping. So it's probably the EI, which is why it's inconsistent and generally a bit rubbish. Controversial. Don't bless. What? LF loves you. LF is here to support you and see you thrive. We really are. Anyway. Right, we're doing a goal tonight. It's going to be very exciting. Where's the thing? Where's the stuff? Great Minds Overboard. Or is it Great Minds? We're going to be giving away this thing. I think we can still give this away. Yes, we can. Right, we're going to give this thing away tonight. Goal. It's a pretty big goal actually. I don't think we're going to do this, but I'm going to try it anyway. For 2 hours. Ooh, that's, I'm trying to type words, right? I do words, that's my whole thing. It's kind of what I'm for. I can't type words tonight. Boop. So we're going to give away a Dark Myth Village Kickstarter STL bundle from Saucer Men Studios tonight. Now, that may not sound like much. It is. Good job. How am I supposed to say Jung? Is that Jungir? Ingir? Ingir. Jungir? Ingir. Anyway, so this bundle that we're gonna be giving away, I'm gonna show it to you because it's really freaking cool. Boop. We're giving away this thing. So it's 22 STL packs, 250 models of fantasy terrain, and the idea behind it is that you can kind of build your own buildings. You don't just have a building or a STL for a building. You can print all these different walls, all these different floors, all these different roofs, all these different accessories, and then build multiple buildings out of it that look cohesive because they're all based on the same sort of designs, but not the same thing. So you can have a completely customized environment. Now, we're going to be talking about MOREcrow, and MOREcrow needs terrain, and terrain should be unique. And this lets you do all that. So this whole thing will let you do an absolutely epic fantasy sort of, if you want to make a dungeon, you can do it. If you want to just build sort of villages and stuff like that, you can do all that. Supposedly it's push fit connection. I have no doubt that it will be. And yeah, so we're going to give away one of those when we hit that target, which is a pretty big target, I grant you, but we're doing it anyway, because that's just the kind of guy I am. Hopefully you guys think that's cool. We shall see. Now, oh, thank you, Neil. Very kind. Straight in there. Doesn't care what it is. Just, I'm in for it. Hang on, sleeping dog. Dog, wake up. Thank you, darling. Sorry, large dog sleeping behind me. Make loud squeaking noises. Let's have it. Well, I think like terrain is for MOREcrow over my shoulder here, it's less important than some systems. That's absolutely true. Don't start complaining because I woke you up. It's less important than some systems. It's less, you need less of it, but I still think you should have cool stuff. I still think it should look pretty. And if you're a TO or a wannabe TO or you want to do events, then, you know, it's important to have different interesting stuff. So, you know, we're there. Anyway, so we're going to be giving one of those away tonight. Hopefully, it's a pretty big target. I need like 30 of them because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So, let me know what you think. What else are we going to do tonight? We are going to talk about MOREcrow, which is why it's sat there, because Song of the Dormant is sat there. We are going to talk about the Death Songbook that comes out next week. We have stuff to talk about that. We're going to talk about big events. The Interplanetario in Vigo is the highlight of the Infinity Year, but I like to think that for 2026, it's going to be subtly different. Could be biased, but I will be right. Anywho, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about an exclusive discount that I've got sorted out for patrons and members. That's going to get out to you guys tomorrow. That's going to be out there. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the fact that Kaz on our Discord server is a pain in the butt and doesn't need to enable me. And yeah, choosing colours. I need input. I need input from you beautiful people about colour schemes and how you do colour schemes and how you come up with colour schemes, stuff like that. But before, I know terrain is your thing, Neil. And so Neil, also known as Three Men in the Shed, also known as Gonks, also known as lots of other things, probably, most of them polite, has been putting out this fantastic set that he's got for 3D printed light fixtures and then the LEDs to go with them, and he's got the whole shtick coming for that. And they look phenomenal. Now, he said he's going to ship me some, so I'm going to be showing them to you guys. We're doing like reviews and talking about that and all kinds of cool stuff. I have plans. But Kaz, I see you there. You're still in trouble about Legion. Part of this evening is your fault, but it's good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so he's like a complete guru with lighting stuff. So we're going to be talking about some of that. Probably not tonight. I'm going to get my paws on it and play with it and blow myself up and electrocute myself first. But very cool stuff over on the Discord. If you are a member or you are a Patreon of the Dice Gods, then you should get onto the Discord. There's, I think there's about 30 of us there chatting away, so that's kind of cool. Come and join that anarchy. It's always good. Just never call me late for supper. I will call you anything. That is fair. Thank you, Kaz. So why is Legion a problem? Fight you. I will fight you, and we're coming on to why Legion is a problem. We're doing that later. Later. Not now. Later. Oh, you don't, Tim. Bravo, Chris. Thank you very much. You kind of just get hold of that little lead and just pull him. I appreciate that. That is very kind. So as you can tell, the Discord is already... Anarchy is ensuing. But hey, that's kind of what it's for, isn't it? But let's start with what's everybody been doing this week for hobby. For myself, I've been building Song of the Dormant. In theory, I've been painting some stuff, but that hasn't happened too much. I've got enough painting done for my Shindamutai that I'm going to get the point for painting in our Escalation League. So I've done that. I've kind of ticked that off. But I want to do some more. I want to have more pretty stuff for the league. We're going to try it. We'll see how that goes. There's also been a big, exciting thing that's happened that we'll talk about later. And that's also sort of caused an influx of work and stuff. We have a big tournament, well, a medium-sized tournament, 16 players, I think it is now. 16 players on the 27th we have for Infinity, locally here. So that's hitting its sort of last planning stages and stuff like that. So I've been involved in that. And also planning the next few events. We've got a beginners tournament in November and a bolt action tournament that's of unheard of stupidity. That will be coming in November as well. So I've kind of got all these stuff that I'm planning, and we've got a whole bunch of newbies and a whole bunch of new people that have joined the community all at the same time. So trying to get those all onboarded and get training days planned in and stuff it's a lot, but we love it, so it's good. Robin, you've been graduating the modelling school that is MOREcrow. Isn't it a joy? You're welcome. Yeah. Little enlarged for my O12 with finishing the Wrecker and the Discord vote for, and yeah, that cute little Yudbot. So again, Neil has been keeping us updated with his hobby work this week, and he's done this fantastic, absolutely fantastic Wrecker. I wonder whether, I probably shouldn't, but I'm probably going to, with his permission, if I can work my stuff. Where is it? Is it all right with you, Neil, if I share it on the stream, the work that you've done? Is that okay? So, Nuclear Kid, good evening! Yay! There's a familiar name. 3D printer for its corpus belly about war cores. Good. Chris, hassle them about becoming a war core. Apparently they want war cores, but they just haven't sort of told anyone. Last thing, get my wholesale account to buy from Warsenal and try to paint all the same. Yes, Warsenal. I'm jealous that you can buy that in a sort of sensible way. You're nodding at the yes, you're nodding at the screen. I'm glad that we're kind of at that level, Neil, that you feel I'm in the room with you and you can just look in my beautiful face and nod and I'll know. Clearly I do, but only because I have an inappropriately placed camera in your house. But it's not in the room you're in right now, so. Anywho, right. We're going to take this one and I'm going to change this over to... Poof! There you go. This is what Neil's been doing. So this is the wonderful record that he did. So he asked the Discord channel what he should paint next, and because we're all sadists, we said that he should paint his record next. So we got the record done in like 6 hours, I think, did you say? Which is epic work for 6 hours. And but he's so diddy. He's so cute. I love it. So really, really cool work. Really, really inspirational, especially the speed that he did it at. That was very, very funky. That was really loud. That looked like it was really loud. Was that really loud? I feel like that was really loud. But yeah, he did some great work. I was really impressed, actually. The speed, the progress that we got through that channel was brilliant, and seeing it develop was really, really cool. So bravo, young man. You're doing great work. Kaz, hoping this will be limited. Finishing up that leading terrain again. Kaz has been showing that off as well, and that was looking really, really sweet over on Discord. Thank you for that, buddy. And taking another shot and getting through my Infinity Painters block. Yeah, Painters block can be a real pain. I hit that when I got my LF OSS, so for like 5th time. Anyway, when I last got it, I decided that what I wanted to do is like this deep, sort of dark green base armor for them, and then this like purple on there, and then this lighting effect, and blah, blah, blah. And I painted like 3 or 4 of them, and I hated it. You know, you just look at something like, that's not it. I don't know what is it, but that, not it. And I couldn't get beyond the scheme that I had come up with for them. That wasn't one of the options. I just couldn't get beyond it. But I also didn't want to paint that scheme, so I had to sort of step away from them for, I don't know, about 9 months or so. And then, in a moment of complete blind enthusiasm, decided to make them bright red instead and all kinds of other stuff. So, yeah, the Painter's block sucks. You still can't mess it. They don't want you. Okay. Remind me later, and I will poke Coney for you and ask what the heck is going on, because you should be. Just over 6 hours. Just over 6 hours for that record is amazing, dude. I think one of my salamanders is somewhere in around 2.5 years at the moment, still in process. It's more down to my work ethic and my focus. I'm more like a dog in the woods. It's like squirrel, nuts. That's something else. Anyway, yeah, very, very easily distracted with painting. So. You actually played Warhammer this weekend, Nuclear Kid. Bravo. Still tempted by MOREcrow sometimes, though. I shall work on your temptation. I shall chip away at your resolve. It will be epic. So, yeah, bravo. It's well done, that young man. Just been terrified 3D Parade. Blissful Badger. Good evening. I've got a random lot of Infinity Minis in the mail. I've had a This is fun. Well, Blissful Badger, I don't know if you're, I know you're not a member here, but I don't know if you're on Patreon. If you're on one of those places, then do consider getting into the Discord and dumping images if you get stuck about what's what, because I'm more than happy to help you identify stuff. Oh, that reminds me, there's somebody on Reddit that I said I'd help with that, and I completely forgot. Discord, I don't forget. Reddit, just... Anyway. Boom. Every scheme I try just feels off. Kaz, I feel you, and we're going to talk about painting schemes later and how to work on that one and what kind of things you can do with that. So we're going to chat about that one later. Yes, Neil, the Human Sphere ID charts do help immensely if you're looking to find miniatures, but there's some stuff they're missing and some older stuff you need to go through the individual trooper type to find the older style. So if you get stuck, you need to find yourself a veteran that's been around a while and poke them. I've been around since N2, but I don't respond well to being poked. You can ask though, that's absolutely fine. Always happy to help. So, started painting some O12 ages ago, went for full-on space ruzzers. The Zeta came out really well. Outstanding. O12, yeah. They're the coolest faction that I just can't engage with. I don't know what it is. When Torchlight came out, I got the Torchlight stuff and I built it all and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this scheme. It just wasn't, it didn't bake my noodle. So we didn't do it, but I've had that, I've owned O12 generic, I've owned Starmada, and I've owned Torchlight. It's Torchlight, isn't it? I want to say Torchwood because I'm English, but Torchlight. I've owned all of them and I've played 0 because they just don't, I don't know, it doesn't resonate with me. I have the same problem with Hack testing pack. Really? Really, Cass? That's the, yeah? Really? Anyway, you have a bunch from Defiance. Yeah, Defiance was such a good way of getting into so many different factions and getting so much stuff. I dodged that bullet and then regretted it massively afterwards. It was one of those things where you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't need all those miniatures. That's absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. Damn it. Yeah, I got from eBay. They're already primed and don't even know which factions they belong to. Oh, Overboard, you are a member. You should be on Discord if you're not already. Are you there? I think you are. Anyway, dump pictures. I need to create a bit of Discord where you can just dump stuff and be like, huh? What is that? Spare the spaceship and let me see some Space ID. Yeah. I love the concept that O12 would ever do that. They just glue the whole damn thing to the floor and leave it. That's more their shtick. I've never seen a faction with more ability to glue more things to more inappropriate places ever. And I used to play Mirror Vision, and we used to glue everything to the floor. So I used to glue the Mirror to the floor. That was fun. Anyway. Never finished the Kimono. It basically contains. I want to do something one day with the cool character model. Yeah, I think the Defiance game was fine. It was interestingly based on the similar sort of unique dice to the stuff that we get in MOREcrow. Slightly different, but a similar sort of concept. And from what I understand from a lot of people, it was fine. It wasn't like, whoa. It was just like, yeah, that's a system that works. Which is fine. Yeah. Fun fact about Torchwood. A good friend of mine was head of specialist props at the show. It's his life cast hand in the jar. He loans the ropes to the side of the vortex manipulator. That's cool. I always loved the idea of working in the movie industry in that kind of area, but there were two things that really kind of got in the way. One, I like to make money and they don't get paid. Or most of them don't get paid. And two, I have the creative genius of a stunned duckling. Yeah. If you give me something that's already made and a good run-up at it, then I can come up with something that's passable and I can make it nice. Make it okay. But some of the things you see, even within my own community, like some of the things that some of my friends do, and you think, that's just cool. I never would have done it. I don't even know where you started. Bravo you, good job. It's that level of creativity, that's not my thing. I'm a wordy creative, I'm a waffly creative, that kind of stuff I do, but the whole like building things with puds. Yeah. Okay, Nuclear Kid. MOREcrow looks a lot more viable as a long-term game, and honestly, them is all I care about, and the game's just an excuse to get hyped about them. You got to know where your hobby lies, and I find that so interesting about wargaming. It's not like a lot of other hobbies that I know. It's kind of like, it's like with golf. You had people that loved to do the golf hobby because they like to play golf, and then you had people who like to do the golf hobby because they like to collect clubs. It's just not a thing that you get. But in wargaming, you absolutely do. You get people that are just here for the miniatures, which is cool, and I get it, because they're cool miniatures. And then you get people that are here for the narrative, and people that are here for the painting, and people for the community, and all this kind of stuff. And you can go through a group of 10 wargamers and find 15 different reasons to be in the hobby. And it's kind of funky. I kind of love that, to be honest with you. Ah, Defiance. If you had the balls to go for Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven. I am in the middle of the baby Gloomhaven, the lion and the duck and the spoon, or whatever it is. Anyway, we've been in the middle of that for about 4 years. That needs finishing off. It's a beast. I just can't commit. I have kids. In fact, it must be more like 6 years, because it was pre-children and pre-trying for children that we were doing. Anyway, it's a great game. It's just, who has the time? Who has the commitment? I lack it. Anyway, also Eddie from Iron Maiden. That's cool. What figure is it? Golf, a good walk around. Golf is a good walk around. It's absolutely true. And a good countryside rune as well. I've actually reiterated that I actually want from the hobby a lot. I'm heading more to making little bits of nerdy art rather than collecting whole armies. Go with what makes you happy. There was a really long period of time where, pardon the terminology, but I was what was technically called a tag whore. I would buy any tag that was available for any faction. And a lot of my army started by me buying a tag and then realizing that if I wanted to actually use it, I needed other stuff to go with it. And I had like, I don't know, it was something stupid like 16 or 17 tags at one point during early N3. It was a lot. It was a lot of metal to store, but it made me happy. Anytime a tag came out, I bought it, and it was just great, because those were the things that really sort of baked my noodle and made me happy. So go with what makes you happy, Nuclear Kid. It's the whole point. You've got to be happy in what you do. Guy I know local to me, talks about playing every game, buys every game, and plays none of them. Yeah, I get the whole thing. The thing is, late stage capitalism, there's a joy to consumption of like buying the thing and owning the thing, and sometimes, which I get, the buying the thing is the sort of scratch for the itch. And I've known that too. I once had a friend. Just stop there. That's unbelievable in itself. Now, I once had a friend who had an office slightly bigger than this, and it was racked up, and it was full of GW boxes going back to 2nd edition, and most of them were new in cellophane. And he owned all the Black Library special editions. He owned pretty much everything for certain factions inside of GW going back years. And he never opened one. And that was his hobby. Was seeing the thing, liking the thing, buying the thing, putting the thing in the cupboard, stroking it inappropriately on a semi-regular basis. I couldn't understand it, but I could respect it. And that was the whole shtick for him. So, you know, fair play. If that's the guy's thing, he wants to spend his money on that, all good. I've just got Gloomhaven too, and I have Frosthaven, and all the Havens haven't played it yet. Overboard. If you're going to Gloomhaven, find a group of people that don't have children, social responsibilities, or other friends, and lock them in for the next 6 months. It will be worth it. But my God, it's a lot of work. That's a big commitment to do that end to end, you know. It's something that you really have to put the time into, and, you know, absolutely blissful badger. Collecting is a hobby itself. It is. Yeah, you can collect stamps and stick them in a book, or you can collect miniatures and stick the boxes on a shelf. All of these things are valid if you're happy. It's a known fact that if you ever paint your last miniature, then you'll drop dead. I'm living forever. It's just as simple as that. I simply will never die. Although, interestingly, there is a subset of my friends that believe that is the case. That I will never die. I will simply decide to cease to exist. But there we go. Gene Dean, woo! Good evening, Gene Dean. I have changed your name on the members slide that goes in videos now. So you're not 69 anymore. I think you should have changed it to Gene Dean 69, because that amused me no end, especially because I got it wrong and it says way too much about me. Anyhow, I've changed that for you. Good evening, my friend. I have the mini solo Gloomhaven. It's supposed to be murderously difficult. Gloomhaven is murderously difficult. It's just... We did the, like I said, we did the baby one that's supposed to be small. Oh, I can't talk about that without... You know, sometimes you remember when you did a stupid thing and it just hurts? I have that. We'll talk about that in a second. But we did one of the early games inside of the baby Gloomhaven line, and the duck and the dildo, whatever it was. Anyway, and we were like, yeah, no, we can do this, we can do this. No, we can't do this, we can't do this. Oh my God. And it just absolutely butchered us. It was incredibly difficult. And the funny thing was, the games before that were kind of like, yes, yes, yes. Oh. Yeah. Here you had I. Oh, that's bugs. Old wargamers never die, they just smell that way. Speak for yourself. I have good personal hygiene for a wargamer. That's really bad. That's a bad thing to say. Yeah, it's so tiny, I'll definitely dive into it one day. You should. Jaws of the Lion? It's something like that. The lion's in there somewhere. It's great. So the thing that I did that was horrific about it, so Jaws of the Lion, it's not a cheap game, and it's something that, you know, my friend loved. He was very, very proud of it. And it's, you play on this map, and the map is in a book. So, I think it was around our second game, I was doing something, and I turned around and hit a cup of coffee all over the book. And I was like, I'm going to buy you a new one. He's like, no, just don't. We'll just try it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not too bad. And it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So the next game we did after that, I did it again. And it was the thing, because I was like, I will definitely replace this. And he was like, no, you don't. Just don't. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And you're like, I don't feel like it is fine. And this is years ago. And in my very soul, I feel like when it comes to it, when I die, and I get the impression... Are you okay, Poppet? Sorry, dog having a coughing fit because she's old. I get the impression that when I die, I will probably go to Egyptian afterlife, and they take your, I think it's they take your heart and they put it on a scale, and then they put a feather on the end, and if it weighs the same, then you go through. And there'll just be this little blemish from pouring coffee over that Gloomhaven game twice that will send me the wrong way. I know it's going to happen, and I know that's what'll do it. It's just the thing. Anyway. I would, but issues with employment keep me PG. You could have just said you didn't want to play. Mike Pierce, good evening, hello and welcome. What did you miss? We're catching up on how our hobby's been this evening. Realising that we should never ever play board games with me, because I chuck coffee on the board. I didn't. It's one time, but it feels like it was every time. It's just not, yeah, it's not a thing. What was the thing you asked last time? Younger, I remember to ask about Acheron Falls, and I'm not getting any answer. I don't know what the status is with the space game for the Infinity Universe. I've asked questions and got this kind of real silence back. Really strange. So I think it's still coming. I just don't know when, which is kind of an issue. So, yeah. Lack of foresight gaming. Hello. Hello, stranger. Oh, you had your wisdom teeth out. Don't do that. Don't do that. So they give you good drugs. Are you feeling good after the drugs? What are we working on? I'm mostly working on MOREcrow, and I'm supposed to be working on some Shindig Butai for Infinity, and thinking about stuff that's coming up for Flames of War at the start of next year. Anyway. Getting a sippy cup for Hydra's board game evening. Robin, do not challenge me. Sippy cups are just, I'm going to knock it over, then elbow it or something. It's it's probably best to put me behind like one of those bulletproof shields now, because, yeah. Shouting into the void. Shouting into the void, my life, just there. Where's your US Ariadne video? Don't even go there. I actually wrote, I've written one list for that video, and I came back and looked at it, and it was just, I wasn't happy with it. So your US Ariadne video, as you say, is on the way. Just call your jets. Coming. Yay, Ariadne. I agree. One day, we will get an N5 Ariadne faction that is worth having. That is just so clearly suitable, fit for purpose. That will be the end of N5. It will probably happen just as N6 drops in, but you won't have to work as hard as you do with everything else. Yeah, the armory, I'll just get the bottom two taken out. Oof. Okay, surgery was last Thursday, but the jaw is really stiff. I have so far, in my 25 years, because that's clearly how old I am, avoided having to have any wisdom teeth work done, which is really, really nice. Yeah, early war in the new year. That's right. Towards the, I get the impression end of Q1, end of quarter one of 2026, we'll start seeing the early war for Flames of War drop in, which I think is going to be really interesting, and will be a really needed shot in the arm for the game, because it's kind of a little bit stagnated at the moment. Not happy with it equals pants. Okay, the list was not pants in and of itself. The problem was, when I looked at it, I could see that a player with a reasonable knowledge of the game could take it down really, really easily. There was no robustness to it. There was no kind of, it was basically a victim waiting to happen. And that's not the kind of list I want to put out. I want to put something I'm just going to tell you what I'm thinking for my US. Okay, cool. I'd like to point out that the list that I put out for US Ariadne and the list that you're thinking about for US Ariadne will be around, I guess, February next year, completely nuked when CB dropped the revamp for US Ariadne, changed everything overnight. And yeah, they'll do their normal trick of, okay, we've taken everything, we've expanded it with a whole load of other stuff, which is now essential and cooler than the old stuff. Yes. Cyber pilots, I've only found one, it's in Italy, $60 before shipping. Yeah, Salamander pilots, not, yeah. But you don't need a pilot, keep it inside, shoot everything, that's what they're for. Hello, darling. So everyone be careful around Joe Rogers. I am under the information that he is inflected? He's also infected. He's infected with the modern plague. So face masks on, good 6 feet back, keep him away. Meravision Puffer Jacket Army when? Oh, I want Meravision back, Nuclear Kid. I want them back now. Any army that for less than 100 points can get 5 Muppets with HMGs in a full fire team and spend 2.5 SWC for it, leaving you a load of points to do loads of other stupid stuff, is peak everything. We need Meravision back, they're on the way. Am I doing anything with Conflict 47? There are 2 questions. Would I like to do something with Conflict 47, and can I do anything with Conflict 47? And the answer to those is yes and no. There is a finite amount of time in the universe, and I have to make decisions on what I'm going to spend time on. Now, I want to get other people involved actively. Dean, I need to get back to you doing more of War Machine, because I want kind of that stuff on the channel. I think it's really useful, I think it's really cool, it's really interesting, it's what the very heart of the Dice Gods is about, other systems other than. I think Conflict 47 is a really unique, interesting proposition. It's based on a rule set that I think is really, really good. But I don't have enough time in a week to do everything that I need. And a lot of it, candidly, boils down to editing. Because I can shoot a video relatively quickly because I have a very clear idea of what I want to do. I prepare a whole bunch of assets and slip that together and shoot out the door. But getting it together, edited, you know, doing the sound mixing, because I do that, even though a lot of people are like, that's really quiet. Did the best I could, long story. Anyway, there is a finite amount of time, and unfortunately, the need to shoot and edit at the moment 2 videos a week minimum means that I am limited in the number of games that I can take on. So when I can take on exterior editing, then yeah, definitely. We shall see. Fingers crossed they continue to cause no problems. It sucks straight up, yeah. Don't. We shall see. We shall see, and I wish you good luck, my friend, because teeth, there's very few, it's like, there's very few things in life that I'm actively phobic of. Teeth, dentists is one of them. Sharks is another. I have an irrational phobia of sharks. I'm scared of sharks in bodies of water that I can't see to the bottom of, even if there aren't sharks possibly there. No idea why. Anyway, so it's a perfectly rational thing to be concerned about teeth, but hopefully you'll be good, my friend. I had wisdom teeth impacted and split. Oh my god! Do I need to start giving you a content warning, Neil? Is that what needs to happen here? Do I need to sort of put... Because no, the world didn't need that one. Anywho, my mum had hers like all done, like out and put back in and stuff, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, does it work? They look great. Are you happy? Yeah, good. That's as much. I didn't need the rest. No. Anyway. I'm so far... You guys are talking so much. It's great. Debating what I want to do for early war for Flames of War. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see what they bring out, because it will depend on what cycle they bring stuff out. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. Barbarossa games are always good. Mike Pierce. Oh, message retracted, Mike Pierce. These are making still riff videos. Nice. Drop the missions. I don't know what missions. Is there a faction Infinity that's considered a great faction to start with, or do they all have the same complexity? Well, I've got my beginner's guide going on at the moment. I've done the first video, the second video is probably going to be not this week but the week after. And there are a lot of things that are easier to play than others, is the straight answer. And it's not necessarily about whether they are stronger. It's, as you say, complexity a lot of the time. So things like a lot of the Nomad sectorials are easier to get your head around than Shazvasti, because Shazvasti is, right, you need to do camo, and you need to do infiltration, and you need to do impersonators, and you need to do all of this stuff, all of these rules to make this work. If you can't do camo effectively, then Shaz is, you're going to suck at it, and it's going to be hard to deal with. So yeah, there are some easy ones. I'd recommend the first beginner's guide to Infinity Factions. Watch that, see what you think of that. The second one's coming soon. Yeah, Gene Dean, I hear you with the high BS, and a lot of the Pano stuff is really good for new players, but things like military orders isn't as great as Kestrel, because military orders lends itself or suggests that a certain playstyle is really good, which new players go for, but actually that's not the best way to play it, because it looks like it's a heavy armoured faction that you should take all of the knights, and actually it does better when you take some knights and a lot of other stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, like a Foresight. Everyone should check out like a Foresight stuff. It's very well, check that out, very much so. Flames of War, very, very good stuff. But full-time work and being a dad and editing sucks. I've had a battle report for Infinity in the can for a month, and it's going to be a hilarious one when I put it out, because it teaches a very important thing. But I haven't got around to editing it because there's so much work that goes into the battle reports that, you know, yeah. We're back on the teeth again. Mike, leave the teeth. No more teeth. Anywho, there are factions that definitely need a bit more work and finesse, but the rule of cool is king. Wise words. Very, very wise words. I'm also irrationally afraid of sharks, probably because I look like prey in the water. Kaz, I don't look like prey, I am prey. And I did come face to face with a blue shark off a coral reef in Madagascar when I was 17 years old. And though it didn't do anything, it didn't even register that I was there. I registered it was there. I only had a snorkel on. I was under the water, and I was suddenly punishingly aware of the fact that I was very far from the boat. I'm not made for water. And he really was. And I think that was kind of the moment that my brain went, all of this? It's a bad idea. This is not our play. This is not where we, you know. It's like if you take the shark and you put the shark on the land. I will kick its ass. But in the water, roles reversed. Not happy with that. No, thank you. No. So are you afraid of teeth and teeth that swim? Sake. I'm not afraid of teeth. I'm afraid of dentists. Dentists do things that hurt. Hurting is not fun. I don't like it. I'm not one of those people that's into that thing. So no thank you. Oh, Joe, thank you for, you didn't, thank you. No, thank you, but no thank you. No, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean. Dublin ITS Underworld Bash. One-day event, Sunday 19th of October. 3 games, 2 hours per game, 300 points, intended for all players. There you go, people. An Infinity tournament in Dublin. If you're in that part of the world, or you can be, in October. Can I be there in October? I don't think I can be there in October. If I can be there, I will be there. That would be fun. It's intended for all players, which means even I get to go. This is nice. Thank you very much, Joe. That is very generous of you. Overboard. Definitely play Pano. Shooty McShooty Face faction is easy enough to figure out. Aristotix, I was asking about the ITS 17 list of official tournaments, and should there be more? So, wow. Like Foresight, thank you so much for joining the channel. That is incredibly kind, my friend. That is so kind. Thank you. Right. The ITS list of official tournaments. So the list that came out of official tournaments, which we are going to talk about more in a minute, those are for satellites. So satellite events, if you win one of those, you get a ticket to go to the Interplanetario in Spain, which is effectively the World Championships. There are a million other official tournaments. These are just ones that are approved for Corvus Belli satellite status, which means you get that ticket to enter the Interplanetario without paying. That's it. It makes you an invited guest to Vigo in Spain. So that's what they're for. One of us. And we're past the core box side of Feudum. Hey, congratulations! Robin is building the Feudum side of Song of the Dormant for MOREcrow. So, congratulations on finishing those seven miniatures. Bravo. Long time lurker. That's incredibly kind. Lack of foresight, that is incredibly kind. I appreciate that greatly. And you should join the Discord server as well, because you are more than welcome to put your stuff on there too, and just let people know what you're up to, because you are one of the good guys. You just did the chat. I'm going to shout you out. Don't tell me what to do on my own channel. You do good stuff, and your stuff should be watched. We have people that are into Flames of War, and I don't do a great deal of Flames of War, but you know what? Even if I did, your stuff would still be great, and there would still be days of the week when I don't do stuff on it, so they should go and see you too, because you do good stuff. So, shush. Usually comes to the lane concern. No sharks, just catfish. Yeah. It doesn't matter that there's no sharks. I still have the fear. Don't know why, just do. It is one of those things. I wish I could understand it. I can't. I'm too old, too damn tired to figure it out. My level's okay as well still? How's the volume on my mic? Because I'm red lining over here on my software, but if you guys say that I'm sounding fine, then I must be sounding fine. Right, I'm going to go over here again and change this to, where are we? Boop. Just to reiterate, this is the thing that I'm giving away tonight, guys. So if you do, I think it's over €6, I think, super chats, then if we get to the number that I've set, then I will give this away to one of the people that does the super chat that qualifies for that. So if you want to win a whole load of STLs, over 250 of them, to print your own village, it's modular, so it all fits together and you can do lots of different things with it, then please do consider doing a super chat, because it helps the channel and you get free stuff. Well, you get stuff, not free stuff, because then you wouldn't need to do a super chat, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Stick that one out there too. I'm so demanding. I really am. Right. Hello, Hydra. I just want to thank you for the Learn to Play series. I'm just getting started with new gameplay, new Ching White Banner. Any quick tips for new White Banner players? Multiverse Miniatures. First of all, thank you so much for watching. It blows my mind when people watch my stuff and it helps them in the hobby. It's the point, it's what I intended to do. But when people actually come back and say, yeah, it did the thing, it's kind of, that's really freaking cool. And it will never stop being freaking cool. And I love that. So I'm really glad it helped. Ooh, White Banner. What do you need to know about White Banner? Let me just refresh my memory, because they are very much the winter sneaky stuff, aren't they? More camo than not in there from what I can recall. And your fire team, Sanchi, yeah, Shang-Chi's good. Jujaks are awesome. Jujaks are always good. The Hydra can also be a really cool unit. It's worth picking one of those up because of the fun stuff that you can do. If I can remember correctly, that in ARO is quite horrific. Let me just double check. Oh no, it's got guided, that was it. Fierce attack guided. A heavy rocket launcher with +1 burst and guided, attack aware and warhorse is horrific. Hydra should definitely be taken, definitely. Another really cool thing, Big C is obviously a must, especially if you're going to take the guided, because I think she's a forward observer. Yes, she is, with NCO, so you can power her with a lieutenant's order, send her down the field, and then send the high T to nuke people from space, which is funny and a legitimate tactic, has to be said. Hunden are also really cool to play with. Yeah, there's some really cool and flexible fire teams inside of White Banner. You kind of need to, they're not as heavy as some of the other factions, apart from things like the High Tay, obviously, but using the monks to put down the smoke and using them as, so Lian Kai and the Shaolin monks, getting them downfield, putting smoke out to sort of screw up approaches on things is a really good way forward. Leaning into the flavour that exists inside the faction is a really cool idea. So you need to hit a little bit harder, you need to be a little bit sneakier, you need to be a little bit more considered than Invincible Army, for example, but you're going to find that you have more flexible specialists and you have more choices of ways you can engage. Invincible Army as a rule is quite linear. It's kind of, I have Big Stompy Boy, I hit you with Big Stompy Boy until you stop doing the thing. And there's a Dao Ying over there giving everybody orders. So lean into the flavour that you'll find inside that faction and make sure you have the camo, make sure you have your Shaolin monks, that kind of visibility control, being able to control what the enemy can and can't shoot, really, really powerful. And also those absolute, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because it was rude, unpleasant, where are those little bots, what are they called? Oh, and you've got the blue wolf, peak, we love the blue wolf. Is it Long Ya? Yeah, it's the Long Ya. Long Ya. Those little bots, they are cheap enough that you can just chuck them out everywhere. But if you get 1 or 2 Long Ya and you stick those near an 8-point baggage bot, because you can still get those in here, can't you? Yep. So you can get the 8-point pangolin, which has the baggage, and then you stick the Long Ya with the Panzerfaust plus 1 burst next to it, or within 8 inches of them. You can just keep firing out Panzerfaust because then they auto reload at the states phase at the end of your turn. No one will thank you for it, but it will be funny and you will enjoy yourself. So do that, it's definitely a thing. I think that's enough of a lecture on White Banner. I hope that gives you some food for thought. I did try, might need some help because the link says invalid lot. Ugh. My Discord and me, we do not get on. Lack of foresight, I will sort you out later. I will update a members post with a new link to the Discord so you can hit that and then you can join in and anarchy will ensue. Overboard, dentist equal teeth hurt, shocks, teeth equal hurt. I mean, yes, I get the rationale. I get where you're coming from, but that's not it. Shark, big teeth, nommy, hurt. And also, sometimes they don't kill you, and that doesn't sound like a good thing. Being nommed by something and then left, no. And dentists, I think it's big, so I had an experience when I was a kid. I did. It was very unpleasant, and it's the fact that it's a personal authority whose job results in pain and blood in my mouth. I don't want that. I have no interest in that whatsoever. And then, when he's done whatever he's going to do to me, I have to pay him. How does that make sense? No. Right. Pano Starter Pack, Joan of Arc 2.0, Father Light. Still searching for the last 2 minis. Cool. Let us know if you get stuck. And you should definitely do more. I know I need to do more Flames of War. I want to do more Flames of War. Do you know Kevin? I speak to Kevin down there. Lovely guy. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, I want to do more with you. You're such a nice human being. But so many hours in the day. Anyone have an O12 site? Are you trying to score metal crack on my channel, Neil? If so, I thoroughly approve. If anyone has a O12 Cyclops with marksman rifle, do let 3 men in a shed wargaming know. He has monies or favours of an inappropriate nature waiting. Hey yo, Contaminator, welcome, good evening, hello. I have a whole list of stuff to talk about. I've been here 55 minutes and I kind of haven't talked about any of it. Is shooty armies easier than melee teams? I heard that when Sandtrap came out, the JSA would have a rough time getting into melee. Is this terrain dependent? I take it. People who've been on the channel a long time, say it with me. Yeah, it depends. Shooty is easier, or it can feel easier to start to learn with, but seeing Shinden Butai as a purely melee army, that was the hot take that a lot of people came out with to start off with. But actually, when N5 got a rules update, what they can and can't do, what they do and don't do, kind of changed, and they became a different proposition. So they have pretty good gunfighters and stuff like that. So they have got incredibly potent melee because they are JSA, and JSA do the pokey stabby stabby. No two ways about that. But yes, getting into melee does depend on your terrain. It also depends on your positioning. It also depends on how you support it. So, for example, one of the great units which you couldn't get when Sandtrap first came out because it hadn't been released was Where are you? Hey. Tanukis. So you couldn't get these little guys to start off with because they hadn't actually physically been released. But we now have Tanukis. And the Tanuki hacker has a disco baller. So he can fire out a bundle of eclipse smoke, which if you put that close to somebody you want to stab in the face so that they're in the area of effect, you can get right on top of that target and stab them in the face and they can't respond because eclipse smoke. Because so it depends. Getting into melee is a matter of experience. It's less forgiving, but it's also potentially more potent. But actually, Shinden isn't just about pokey pokey. I would say that finding a middle of the range, a middle of the sort of line army is better. What do I mean by that? The problem with Pano is they can't do missions for poop. They really are dumb as a box of rocks, and it will mean that your specialists that need to win you the game by booping the boop will not boop the boop. Instead, they roll their face over the keyboard and completely fail to achieve the thing. So shooty shooty gets the enemy dead, but if you can't then do the thing that gets you the points, you still don't win the game. So more middle of the road armies like Nomads, because they have some high whips, some reasonable shooting, like the cheerleaders, the cheap guys for Tunguska. I think they're whip 11. It might even be whip, sorry, I think they're BS 11, they might even be BS 12, Securitate, but they're whip 14. So when you send them upfield to push a button, the button shall be pushed. There is no two ways about it. They are surprisingly reliable. That 10% swing between whip 12 and whip 14 makes all the difference. And in fact, they're BS 12. So they are as good at shooting as the Pano guys, but they're better at doing missions. So what I would say is seek something with a degree of balance. Don't just seek something that, you know, is hyped or just shooty or whatever, or just melee. The internet tends to reduce things down to a really finite point of like, this is definitively the answer, and definitively it's not. It's more nuanced than that. So a lot of it will come down to how you want to play and what you want to do and all that kind of stuff. But shooty kills better, but it doesn't mean say you're going to push buttons. Whole picture is more important. Tristan Cruz, thank you very much, and welcome to the members side of the Dice Gods. I will be putting up a post later to get Discord links so you can come and join that funsies too. Kaz, goodbye. You're going to miss the discussion on Legion. It's your fault we're having the chat, and you're not even going to be here. Have to catch it in the rerun. Ba-da-ba-bum. Where are we? There's more stuff. My goodness me. Ba-ba-bum. You can camp at mine if you're coming. Thank you, Joe. I may well take you up on that. And baggage is so good, Neil. You're quite right. But yes, Joe, we will talk. Like Foresight, you're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go into even more therapy. It'll be fine. I do know Kevin, and hey, I'll send you some models if you want. Too much. No, don't. Stop it. Kevin is a lovely human being. Now in the game of crack. Love it. Multiverse Miniatures, thank you so much. Much more than I was expecting. It's good to know I'm headed in the right direction with monks along. Yeah. What unit was it with the baggage and the Panzerfaust again? So the Panzerfaust is on the Long Ya. They've got the Panzerfaust on there. So the baggage, you're looking at Pangolin. They are these. You want these. These guys right here. They will get you your baggage. You just kind of want to build them as they come. This is actually an Evo hacker, and this is actually the total reaction combi rifle version. I got those for my Shinden, and it's not painted, so sue me, but let's just get so I can see myself. But I've actually put some like baggage and bits on there to do a little bit of a conversion for it, because this is going to be the cheap 8-point version. I really wanted it as cheap as possible. So they're old miniatures, they're metal, but yeah, they'll do the job. That will get you your baggage. All the variants of the Pangolin all have baggage, so any of them will do the job. And if you get the Evo hacker, that can give you buffs elsewhere. So get on top of that. JSA ninjas need careful delivery, but once they get there, boy oh boy, no prisoners. That's the thing. There's always this kind of conception inside of the discussion around Infinity of this is the capital T best capital B miniature capital M. And it's also situational. It depends entirely on what you're facing, because ninjas are phenomenal. You know, hidden deployment, mimetism -6, infiltration. We get down the board, we get in your face. We have stealth. I think they have climbing plus and stupid stuff like that. So they are incredibly potent. Unless somebody's got MSV2, unless somebody's got sensor, unless there's mines all over the place. And there's a whole host of situations where a ninja is basically an unarmored victim. So it depends, but used well and used with care, they're phenomenal. I have been making Infinity tempting. You put it, Andrew, who's been on and off to get me into it, but do I need a new project? Lack of foresight gaming. If you're going to be on our Discord server, you need to join in on the discussion Infinity. It's just one of the rules. I make the rules, okay, I do, but you definitely need to get into it. It's a phenomenal system, and as a counterpoint to Flames of War, I think it's a really interesting one. So you should definitely check it out, which we'll discuss. Contaminator. Last weekend I finally wrapped a long-planned event with 2 friends playing Epic Armageddon for 2 days. Oh, I'm ready to dive in and assemble my MOREcrow now. First of all, yay for assembling MOREcrow. We'll talk about that in a minute. Epic Armageddon. One of my first games, my first wargaming games was Space Marine, the original Space Marine. So Epic, tiny little, I had a massive army for that. I sold it to a friend of mine, and literally it was in bin bags because there was so much of it. That was a regret moment. 6 euros. It's a €6 to enter. In terms of hobby, do what brings you joy. I'm playing a daft weeb mecha game on easy because smashy robots screw haters. You are, as ever, Mr. Rogers, insightful and correct, my friend. Joy is where you should be. Happiness. My goodness, I'm so far up on the chat. Just started our stupidly ambitious 40k 4th ed narrative campaign. Overcommitted to dystopian wars and armoured clash, and I still own Battlefront from Bagration and Pass. Yeah, I hear you. I completely hear you. The ability to get involved with war games it's never been easier. There's never been more. And if you own a YouTube channel, you always have an excuse. Yeah, it's content. It's content. Yeah, got to do it for the algorithm. Yeah. Anyway, nomads have cat girls. Nomads used to. Well, they still kind of have cat girls. That's absolutely true. It's entirely up to you. Really leaned into that. Nuclear Kid, yes, but we used to have more of that stuff, and for me, I'm glad it's gone, because there were way too many awkward situations. Like, so you used to have a Caledonian Highlander with a grenade launcher, and she had a incredibly short skirt so you could see her butt. Her butt was poking out from underneath her skirt, and it was modelled on that. And I didn't have the miniature. It wasn't an issue for me in any way, shape or form. It was kind of like, fine, I don't care. It's not a miniature I'm going to own, so whatever. Until one of my members, and Joe may, I think you were there, Joe may remember this, one of my members brought his 14-year-old daughter down who played Infinity, as 2 guys were discussing that miniature in a way that guys do. And she was supposed to be playing Infinity, and that to her was really like, ooh, this is not nice. And that made me consider that kind of approach. And yeah, there are people who are like, cat girl, and all this kind of stuff. And fair play, if that's your thing, that's what draws you in, then fair play. But I like to think that having more options for players is healthier for the community than the guys who get a bit overexcited. Controversial, but this is where we are. How's everyone doing today? Real Gyoiza. I love it when you watch somebody doing a stream or whatever and they're like, I don't know how to say that, so I'm just going to bodge it. That's now my life. Thank you guys for the weird names. Real, welcome. Good. I am 1 hour and 6 minutes into a 2-hour stream and I haven't done anything on my list yet, so it's going well. So far I've already watching most of your videos though, but what's the best way to start with Infinity and just how much terrain does it need? What's the best way to start with Infinity? Right now, the rule of cool, which army appeals to you, which one you look at and think, hell yeah, that's the one you should start with. The best way to start is to start slowly. The easiest way to fail at Infinity is to do everything all at once. It's really, this game is not like Flames of War. Flames of War has this quite focused and compact rule set with some bits that are bolted on the rest, but are sort of on the side per nation. Infinity has a standardized rule set where all the weapons and all the special skills and all the abilities are the same across pretty much all factions, and it's their stats and which skills and weapons are put on which miniature that sort of vary. But that means that there are layered rules within rules and options and choices and equipment, which if you just try and do all of it, is mind-blowing and will just cause you to melt down because there's too many options. You know, when we're playing Flames of War, it's kind of like, what should I do this turn? Well, I can do this finite set of things. With Infinity, you say, what should I do this turn? And the game goes, yes. It's like, information. So, take it slowly. Do the Learn Infinity M5 series that's on the channel. Just watch those. It starts off with how to get into the game, what options you've got, all this kind of stuff, which I need to refresh because there's new options now, but you get the idea. Yes, Joe, you failing at dice rolls is peak you. That has to be said. But, and how much terrain does it need like a foresight? A lot. But in an era of 3D printing, there are cardboard options, there are a range of different options. Terrain density is important because Infinity is so violent. It is a very violent game. When you activate a trooper on your team, your opponent can react to that trooper with every one of their troopers that can see it. And some that can't, but that's a different story. So if you waltz your guy out in front of 5 guys, 5 of the enemy guys, they can just shoot him to death. It's a very violent game, so having the right type of terrain and the right volume is key. So it couldn't hit 95% of rolls. Yep, that sounds familiar. This is why okay, because 70% base, 100% of the time fails. Yeah, you're right on that one. Oh, Justin Altman. Hello, Justice Elfman, sorry. We use the soundtrack box. Which armies would you recommend after? We want a completely different vibe. Right, so you have got Kestrel and you have got Shinden. So if I was going to go very differently from there, I would probably go for Hassassin Baram. That would be very, very different because they are very, very different in so many ways. And Corregidor, because I'm on a Corregidor kick at the moment, but with the drop trooper options and with the very powerful medium infantry and very potent sort of combi list, they're really, really strong. Or even OSS, Operation Subsection 4 LF. Ultra elite, ultra hardcore, robots of doom, really fast moving, in your face. But when you start losing stuff from OSS, the functionality of the army can really come apart quickly. So it's kind of, I have to punch you incredibly hard, and you have to go down from that, because if you start sort of punching back and they start landing, it comes apart quite quickly. So those would be 2 options. Welcome to the best game chat. Woohoo! Agreed, Neil. I really hope the Infinity anime is coming soon. Has a lot of these keywords for the game in it, like disco ball. I hope so too. When do you think they'll drop the first episode? It's gone quiet. I know that they were mostly seeking funding, so I don't know when, but we shall see. No best miniature in the game, that's true. Justice Outman, welcome, welcome, welcome. I tell all my new players Infinity is a game of BS. Bullshit. And some stuff sounds really broken. There's a counter, there's always a hard counter, and that's the really fun thing. Although it can be really painful too. So stop me if I've told you this one already, but I took a fun, stupid list to a tournament a little while back to entertain with a friend, and ended up taking a hard counter to my first opponent's list. Because I took Wildcats, which have multispectral visor. They were in a fire team. This was N4. 5 Wildcats, which is just too many points for too little firepower. It's just not really something you can take, unless your opponent has impersonators and camo markers, at which point you have the absolute dedicated solution to everything they're going to do. And anytime he moved something, anytime a camo marker just did a thing, I was like, oh god, discover. Yeah, I discovered it. Oh god, right, shoot. Oh god, right, you're dead. Okay, next one. It was just painful beyond belief, so yeah. There's always a hard counter. Panel, full face cover, flowing fabric skirts. One was leaning with a Spitfire. Oh god. Moving forward, still trying to find the exact model. Blissful Badger, are you on the Discord? If not, we need to find another way you can send me pictures. It's content, it's tax write-off, the doors are expensive. Yes, absolutely true. My God, I'm so far down. I don't want to miss anything. I love the difference between Flames of War and Infinity. There is a lot of difference between Flames of War and Flare, playing both. They scratch very different issues, just do. I understand why they leaned out of it. I mean, yeah, the cheesecake was overdone, Nuclear. Those weird, wonderful miniatures, it was a bit much. Shout out to any Norman for anatomically correct for miniatures, but we need less top-heavy, over-the-top female figures. Yeah. Instant note from me. Agreed. I want women in my war game. I don't want sexualized women in my war game. That gives me the ick. I don't need that. Okay, what level of player agency and options legit sells me? It really does. If you like to be able to control and affect the outcome of a game, Infinity is a dice game. Sometimes the dice just nope out and you're stuffed. There's no two ways about it. But I had a really cold streak where I lost 8 games in a row because my dice were noping out on me. So I shifted away from dice and used templates and then started winning again. Because there are other things you can do than throw dice. So, yep, Weber, good evening. So when you talk about camo and impersonation and infiltration, I either to choose, of course, someone, not naming names, just mention those might be important for someone playing Shaz. They are very important for playing Shaz. That is absolutely true. And yeah, they are. At some point I'm going to do a series, one of the tactics is going to be on camo specifically, because camo is really easy to use, but it's really hard to use well. So there's going to be part of that that's coming, definitely. One of us. Wargaming, that's common superpower, female super, yeah. Boob armor is a thing. I don't know. I don't know who, bad idea, bad thing to say, but I don't know who Lex Otis is off the top of my head, so. Woohoo, I've caught up. I'm easily to new games. One thing I will prime you for, like, foresight gaming, is that Infinity is a drug. And if it bites, it's something that you can't really get rid of. I've stepped away from Infinity twice in my life, and I've now given up on the fact there's ever going to be something that's going to happen. Because I end up playing other systems and I'm like, yeah, but it's not Infinity. Which is just, it's such a good system. It gives you so much control. It gives you so much agency, so many decisions. You know, you have technically up to 15 troopers in your list. And changing one has a profound impact on the whole thing. So, it's addictive. Look out for that. Be warned. Jump on the Discord. I'm going to get him the link to the Discord, Neil. No, I'm going to sort that out. Blissful Badger. Right. Blissful Badger. Email me at thoughtsandprayers@thedicegods.net with the pictures and we'll sort you out. That is not a problem. I know there's big announcements, I know, but we're talking about everything. People are talking, I can't talk about it. I'm going to go onto my list in a second. I'm going to get to the bottom of this and then, little stinker, you've got to get better dice, maybe some with funny weight distribution. I have about 30 different D20s, maybe more. Some days, the dice gods just ain't with you. So a bit of self-hate there, apparently. That's why I play 12. Templates and board control, absolutely. It's the way forward. Different options are which faction has the most camo action? That would be our good friends in TAC, Tartary Armor Corps in Ariadne. It is possible to field over 20 camo markers at the start of the game in TAC. Quite comfortably. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Unless you're really good at controlling stuff. So anyway, so much fun when you do. Next, Otis is the animation studio for the... Oh, right, okay, cool, good to know. That's going to be really interesting. I think Infinity won the roll-off for this stream. You may need to change the title, maybe. It has not yet, we're not there yet. Damn it. God damn it, guys. That's all on the female sculpts. It really does. MOREcrow does do well on the female sculpts. Ariadne, but no, definitely. So you can do camo spam for Shazvasti, but it's not the same. It's not as filthy and nasty as it is with TAC. Fair. Sounds a bit like Warhammer with me. Can't stop coming back to it. At least Infinity sounds like a better game. It is. Infinity is a better game. Yeah, it is. It's just, it is. And sometimes with a better company. Controversial. Probably white banner, yep. Sorry I keep distracting him. Everyone talks to me and I want to chat to all of you, so yeah, everyone keeps distracting me. It's terrible. He's not in... Overboard, don't get in, don't. Right, how many black discs can you run? I think you can run 3, but why would you? When you can just spam camo everywhere. It's so much more fun. You do have a lot of camo, but you don't have that level of camo. It's my place when we camo. When you can play 3, yeah, absolutely. Although the only, if they had the Zensha from Invincible Army in TAC, that would be the ultimate for me, because that can place 3 markers, but 2 of them are mines and 1 of them is just an evil git. So that nuclear kid, listen to your soul. You're being called to infinity. It's the thing. So anyway, I'm now at the bottom of the page. I'm on top of it. On top of it, all of you. That's not the phrase to say, is it? Anywho, I'm with it. So guys, don't forget super chats to try and win that wonderful set of SDLs. Right. So hopefully, I'm going to go onto my list now. I have a list. Look at the list. It's amazing. Totally disgusting. Yes, it would be totally disgusting, but it would be genius. So hopefully tomorrow for members, the first MOREcrow Traveler's Guide starts, because we have this whole series that's coming. It's like learning to play Infinity N5. So that's going to be dropping, and it's going to be based around this thing over here, the Song of the Dormant box. We're going to be doing the whole series of stuff on that. We've got a review coming for that. I was going to do an unboxing, but not now for various reasons. And we're going to be talking about all that sort of stuff. So I personally have built all of the dudes for the good guys, also known as the Scions of Yelderbaoth. If you look at them, you can, I mean, look at him. He's got bone stuff and like all kinds of filth. And if you're not sure whether they are the good guys or not, clearly, look at that. He's clearly a good guy. You can see that straight away. So those are going together well. They are so cool as well. I would say that again, with these, it's about, oh, man down. It's about time that Corvus Belli started putting instructions in their boxes for these, because this guy, this is the needle, and I need like a sticky pointing thing. So this bit here that goes through and out the other side, that is a single piece behind these legs. These little legs, they're a separate bit. So what you have to do is kind of thread this in and glue it in, and then put the legs over the top kind of at the same time. And that would have been really great to know before I started it. But I didn't. I had to figure that one out. I got there, but I think for newer players it would be good if they actually did some instructions for once. But we're going to talk about, I'm going to do a proper review of that one. It's going to be an interesting one, actually, because they've, in my opinion, Corvus Belli have sort of screwed up a little bit, because what they've done is they've stuck things like this in here, and this is Unicool. This is Unicool resin plastic, and this is stunning. This material is easy to work with. I mean, it's seconds to put this stuff together. And they've also stuck this stuff in there. I don't know if you can see, it's a different colour. Now this is CO cast. So of my 10 miniatures for Scions of Yelderbaoth, which are in the Song of the Dormant and the Beyond Song of the Dormant box, which is behind me. Let's get Chet up, because you guys will be waffling away, invariably. There are 6 Unicool and 4 Ceocast, and the Ceocast is just horrible to work with, and it's even worse when you have Unicool next to it. It's just a nasty material. Now, lack of foresight, most of Infinity is not Ceocast. A lot of it is either Unicool or metal, so don't panic about that. That's absolutely fine. But Ceocast needs to go in the bin, to be honest with you. I'm kind of done with it. I'm kind of done with seeing it. It's just, if you've not worked with it before, it's, so like you normally you can like file down a material. You can't file Ceocast. If you do it, it spools up and you end up with like little rolls of Ceocast material still stuck to the miniature. It's horrible stuff to work with. It just doesn't, It's not great. You have to really take your time. I think it took 20 minutes to put the 6 unicorn miniatures together, and the 4 ones of these that I had to do took the better part of 3 hours to clean up, glue, and again, I mean, there were issues with. I'm going to be thoroughly professional and do this off the phone. Actually, there is a reason we're talking about this, because I'm going to be putting this in the reviews and stuff that we talk about, but you kind of need to be aware of this one if you're going to get into it. Right, so I'm going to zoom in. I have to go back to this view for that. So here, see this lovely little nice rectangular joint there? That is to attach one of the arms onto one of the bodies that you just saw. This is the hole it has to go in. You see how that's not a rectangle? You see how it's got a big lump of mush right in the middle of it? And I reiterate, this is not a material that you can cut easily. You cannot work this very easily. How this made it through quality control, how this made it into my hands, is a mystery to me, because it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have never. No, they're just, no. So if you are getting Song of the Dormant, and you absolutely should, because MOREcrow is a fantastic game. Spoilers for the review later, but it's a fantastic system. But with the unicorn stuff, the sort of more dark grey material, whack those together. Watch TV when you're doing it, you'll be fine. When it comes to the Seocast, do it when you've had a good sleep, that you're in a good mood, and you've got time. And you have a very sharp blade with you, and you can just ease yourself into it, and just make sure that you know what needs to come off and all that kind of stuff. I found that I'd missed a piece of flash, because there's not a lot of flash on the unicorn, but on the Seocast there's a lot, and I'd missed a piece on one of the sculpts on the skirt on one of these guys. I glued everything else together. Spent 30 minutes just because it doesn't cut that well. You kind of have to chip away at kind of making a gap behind it. And kind of, just if you're going to do the Seocast, give yourself time. Make sure you're in a zen, and you'll be great with it. It's all good. So, right, now I'm going to catch up with everything that you said. Some more comments must distract. Shush, I ignored you. That way you can't distract me. More comments must distract. Yep. Ooh. I went to painting course led by a very good Spanish painter, and one of his display pieces was a really sweet MOREcrow diorama. It's such a good system, and they are such beautiful miniatures. The material is what lets it down. And when you are paying 11 euros per miniature, when it's unicorn, I'm like, ow, but ow. But when it's Seocast, I wouldn't give you 5 euros for them. They're just not worth it. So it sucks they did that anyway. When is Elful Chronicles Learning to Play coming? So the answer to that one is that we have the Traveller's Guide to MOREcrow, which starts tomorrow, hopefully. I've just got to finish editing the video, and then that can go out. So that'll go out to members first, then that will drop for the general public on Wednesday. And that will be a series that will take us through Learning to Play and some intro games of Song of the Dormant. Then the Elful Chronicles series should be, everything going well, late Q1, early Q2 of 2026. Because at the moment we're still waiting for the Wins box to drop for Eldfold, which is going to expand things a lot. And when that's dropped, we can get back into regular releases for the war game. Right now, there's not a lot of exciting things to talk about to build on the conversation of here's your armies and here's how you play. So that will come. It'll be earlier next year. So that's coming. I bet you're not as adorable as Hoopu. No one is as adorable as Hoopu. Hoopu's glorious. She's a fantastic human being. I've done a couple of interviews with her, and what I love, I had the first interview with her, and then the second one I wisely booked 2 hours. We did an hour interview and then chatted for an hour. It's just a lovely human being I can spend a lot of time with. I've just made a list that has only 1 monk in open list and 13 camo markers, 3 of which are mines. It seems rude, but also super fun. Yes, it will be, and it will be a lot of fun, and that's exactly the way you should be playing that white banner. It's what they for. It's what they for. It's what they're thing. Kaz is back, yay! Just make sure that you can do the administration around your camo markers, and you can play them quickly, and you have a clear way of knowing who's who, and a clear plan for them. Because there's nothing worse than somebody who has a lot of camo markers and like this is no. I think no. It's no. Be clear, be a consistent player, and you'll be grand. Robin Ventier, one left, good man, outstanding. That's the reason why I go, yeah, yes, there is a reason. Infinity is addictive. Yeah. DGW? We've done bits of, we've done a primer for the lore, very basics of, and we're doing lore with every faction focus. So there are, I think it's 34 different factions, and I'm working my way through slowly with all of them, including lore at the start of it. So there's some basics of lore as part of the Learn to Play in 5 series, because it's a fully comprehensive program that will take you from beginning your very first steps in Infinity all the way through to realizing how little you know and panicking. Sorry, to moving on to our tactics videos and learning further. That's exactly what I meant. Scions are such a joy to build. Scions are such a joy to own. We're clearly the good guys. Anyone that has like a demon type, they're clearly the good guys. I'm going to also complete my silver bayonet painting. Yeah, silver bayonet is so cool. I love that idea. It's a phenomenal system. So what are your thoughts on the dialectic philosophy of Aleph Posthumans, the nature of the cube and its parallels with Ghost in the Shell and the concept of Sapphic cat girl makers? Somebody wants to ban. That's what my thoughts are on comments like that, young man. No, stop it. You're ill. Go back to bed. Right. Unicorn Seacast really just highlights the weakness with the circuit. It really does, little stinker. It was completely, having them side by side was just like, now I really can see how bad they are. Don't do that. Yes, I dropped the mini. All right. Thank you. Just relive my trauma. It's my favourite miniature and I bounced it. Yeah. I've had very few good experiences with Seacast. Yeah, it's not a good material. So the fact that it's not Infinity much is really, really nice. People take Wasteland at Seacast and bin and reuse it because they thought that would be a selling point. All of Seacast should go in the bin. Knights Montessa and Order Sergeant solve the challenge. Well done, Blissful Badger. Good job. Well done. Yeah, the CB need to up their quality control. They really do. I'm posting all the things. If I'm buying into it, so are you. I have at least 4 instances of the Seacast in the rectangles being partly filled in. Just snip the outy rectangles and glue it in without the mold. Yeah, exactly. The problem is, so I hear you with doing that. The problem with this is, so these arms, they don't have fingers. And they're not numbered. So it's really hard to know which is the left and which is the right, but they have distinct angles. Now normally, what you'd do is you'd take the outie and poke it in the innie and then you'd know. But you can't do that. In fact, sometimes you can't even tell what shape that innie is supposed to be. Dumb. Just dumb. Anyway. Overboard. Seacast is a certain type of education. It really is. Don't forget the lube. It's just one of those things. It's one of those materials that when Corvus Belli brought it out, we were like, cool, you're going to keep the price down because metal's going up and it's going to be the same quality and all the rest of it. And the very first miniature that I got, which was a Moret, still own it, it had a miscast chest piece. And it was a horrible thing to work with. And it was just like, and the prices have still gone up. Not by as much. Yeah. I'd rather pay more and make it work. That's just me. That's just me. So, hang on 1 second. So I don't deafen you all, because I'm nice like that. I bought the elf faction pack for MOREcrow. It took me forever to build the 10 minutes. Yeah, I can understand, but it's worth taking the time because the Sienna elves are beautiful. They are stunning, and the new ones that are coming out, freaking gorgeous. I hope did they turn out well. How did they do in the end? Multiverse. What was the score with that? My buddy Andrew told me there's a Space Cop sub faction. Lack of foresight. That is O12. O12 is a space fuzz, very much so. And they actually have, they're a faction in of their own right, and then they have two sub factions beneath them. Starmada, which is the fleet, space fleet side of that particular faction, and then you have Torchlight, which is clandestine violent operations side of that faction, and then you have Generic, which is the encapsulates the both. They're an interesting army. They're pretty strong, actually. They're pretty strong. They've got some really interesting ways of being put together. So, buy. How about the game I'm trying to make you buy? We're getting to the thing you're trying to make me buy. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. Next, we're going to talk about because you've pulled me back. No, I'm not at the bottom yet. Hang on. Stop it. In the bin with lighter fluid. Yes, agreed, Robin. In the bin. Putting the outie in the innie can create later problem. Nuclear, I'm not even going to. I was going for the alien reference, then you dropped it. Yeah, shush. Woo! There are some O12 fans in the room. They're wrong, but there are some O12 fans in the room. Nothing you can do about that. Suppose since I have MOREcrow Adventures, just maybe check out the war game sometime. You should. It's a really, really good game. I have a lot of love for MOREcrow, and we did a whole load of stuff when it came out, and then I stopped. I sort of stepped away, and I've spoken about this before, and it boiled down to the fact that they brought out the two factions. So we had Hegemony of Embersig, and we had Northern Tribes, and they were dribbling them out. And it was a 250 point game that you couldn't pay 250 points of until about February this year. So I kind of wanted to do back reports for it. I kind of wanted to do lots of deep dives and discussions, but there wasn't anything to talk about because there weren't any things out. So I stepped away for a bit, and we're now at a point where you can do 250 points of different types of army with Hegemony and with Northern Tribes and also with CNN. And they're coming on for Scions. Technically can with Scions already. And they're about to do so with Feudum. So you've got a wealth of different things there. Which reminds me, I got notified by my supplier today that the war rig for Hegemony for me is in. So later on this week, I'm going to get a war rig, which that is getting a review. That thing is getting a review. Does anybody know what a war rig is? Should I show you what a war rig for Hegemony is? Maybe I should. Let me know. Comments if you want to see it. Sorry, still around reading lore while listening and being mauled by my toddler. O12, not N12, O12. But you should definitely. And being mauled by a toddler is the way forward, and it's how you know that you're doing the right thing for your child. I have two. They maul and do all sorts of horrible things to me on a regular basis. We're going to talk more in a minute about the stuff Kaz wants to talk about. Oof. Don't do that. Don't know. Need an O12 fan. Where are your papers? Yeah. It's not a case of I'm not an O12 fan. It's one of those things where I've owned all of O12 at various points and they just don't inspire me. They're cool. There's nothing wrong with them. They just don't make my blood fizz. They're cool. And I only try and play the stuff that I either think is interesting, and O12 are fine. They're cool. They've got their own playstyle. Doesn't really work for me. And the miniatures are fine. So they don't really, I love seeing them on the board, I love facing them, but I wouldn't buy them. They don't really wow me, so. Which is fine, doesn't make them bad. I mean, they are bad because they're the fuzz, but you know. It's the other tags. I don't need more tags. And on the bigger card, Hydra showing the war rig. So when I start getting Moang out, that's when you want to worry. Doomy does. Anyone does any Corvus Belli, the closest war core about 4 hours away during spring, summer. Oof, where are you based, Real? Where in the world are you? It's one of those things, no one does it, but then as soon as you start digging in, I found, as soon as you start putting yourself out there, you get people going, actually, I've played that. I just didn't think anyone else did. And no one talks about it. It's the eternal problem with wargaming communities. Everyone decides that that isn't out there, so no one talks about it. They buy it, and they own it, but they just don't talk about it. Lack of foresight gaming, it's the first 18 years that are the hardest. Yeah, invariably. So to be fair, I've ordered the new MOREcrow box. Gonna go Feudum. Nice. Kaz, have you seen the big guy that Feudum gets? Have you seen the big guy that Feudum gets? If you haven't, I will show you the big guy. It's going to be 3 in November, so it's been fun. Oh, yes. Evil Remained can pay back. Nice. Yeah, mine are 2 and 4, and yeah, every day's a blessing. Mobang makes the stream. There we go, followed by Long Wang. That's absolutely true. Atlantic Canada. Oof. I haven't tripped across anyone from up there, but that's a bit off my patch, so then be the change, buddy. You got to kick. Sometimes you got to kick to create the community, and if you have the time and you have the energy, you have to put the time in, and it's incredibly rewarding when it happens. A lot of people will get into a system if there is somebody there pushing, and sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to be the person that turns around and goes, "Oh, you come look at this, amazing!" It's a great thing. I have not seen the big guy. Right, hang on. I need this. I need this. Right, so Kaz, are you sat down and are you reasonably in a place where you can get overexcited without it being an arrestable offence? Because if this doesn't overexcite you, I don't think we can be friends anymore. Right, you ready? I hope you're ready. Let's have a look. That is coming for Feudum. Look at that. Look at it. You can't tell me that's not glorious. It's freaking glorious. You're getting one of those. That's happening to you. It is. It's a whole thing. So, yeah. Well, I don't care. You can be in a meeting. You're now with a big smiley face in a meeting. So, fuck yeah. Exactly. That's what we're looking for. That's MOREcrow, like a foresight. That is MOREcrow. That is MOREcrow. Absolutely, all the way. Hang on. Now I need to be funny. Wow, I say funny. I'm gonna go MOREcrow. Whoa, break. Bop bop bop. Ba-da, ba-da, bop. Right, let's make a mess of this too. Let's go there, and then I'm going to change this to... That's a war rig. That's also MOREcrow. I think that is absolutely awesome as a piece of kit. I think that is so cool, I have to say. I got one of these coming into this week. And this guy here, it's a beast. This is bigger than any of the tags that we have in Infinity. We know this, we've seen pictures. Yeah. It's a whole thing. That's also coming. That's also on its way. So, yeah, you've been warned. I'm going to do a whole review on that one because I think it deserves it. I think it definitely deserves it. I'm trying to be MOREcrow, but I've got to get these games down first. Real, yes. What you need is a solid understanding of one of the systems and a way of showing people. So you need 2 armies of a small size, like 6 miniatures, painted up, ready to roll with the table. It doesn't even need to be a pretty table, because what Infinity does, if you demo it, like the Learn to Play N5 series that I've got, keep it simple. If people are wargamers, the level of control and agency they have, you give them 3 rounds of 3 guys with 3 combi rifles against each other, and there is a whole flow that they get into, and it will sell itself. But you have to get yourself clear and down, and it's one of the other reasons that this channel exists, is to create a resource for people like you, that you can say, right, which army are you interested? I don't know. Right, here is, watch these 2 videos. These are the 2 beginner's guides. See which one you like. See which one wows you. choose that, come back to me, and then we'll have faction focuses to go deeper on those armies, so you can watch those and then talk to the person like, well, the way this army works is, you know, cheeky, but there we are. Yeah, that is MOREcrow. MOREcrow is very nice, but it's not cheap, and there is some Seacast in there. But that is going to be, as I understand it, those are going to be Unicals, so it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. So yeah, I've got the war rig coming for Hegemony of Embassig on the end of this week. So then we're going to be doing an unboxing, and we're going to be doing a review of it because it's such an impressive miniature. It needs to be done, and then it's going to join my Hegemony, who are in need of finishing, because I've actually got some guys I can show off there a little bit. They're not 100% done, but you can see my Hegemony, because they're very rarely shown off. So it gives you an idea of what colour scheme these guys are going to be in. Purples, silver metallic purple, and greens, because that's the scheme we've gone for in silver. So a very winterized version of bases and stuff. There you go. These all need finishing off, but that's how my Hegemony is going to be. I wanted to do something purple, and there's a specific sub-faction of Hegemony that kind of fits with, so that's what the war rig's going to be. It's going to be the purples and the greens and the silvers and like in your face. It's going to be great. Looking forward to that. So there. Okay. What's next? What is next? We weren't even supposed to go there, but we did. And now we're back, so that's good. And I'm still not going on to talk about what Kaz wants to talk about, because I don't have to and you can't force me. Don't forget Super Chats, guys, if you fancy winning one of those STL sets for the Fantasy Terrain from Saucerman Studios. If we can get to the 30, which is a big ask. It is a big ask. If we can get to the 30 Super Chats of over €6, I think it is, then we're going to be giving away... Nope, that's the wrong one. Spoilers! Spoilers! We're going to be giving away that. So this whole set of 250 models and 22 STL packs. So with that said, let's talk about Kaz's stuff, because Kaz wants to talk about it, so we're going to. The new releases that are coming out for Star Wars Legion and why that's a problem. So I used to be big on Star Wars Legion. Yeah, I should do it. I know. We did. Yes, we go. Yes, Kaz, I know you have to leave soon. You always have to leave. You're just in the wrong time zone, buddy. But thank you for this super chat. I appreciate that. That's very kind. So we've just got into a new edition with Star Wars Legion, and I had a load of Star Wars Legion prior to that. So I had Separatists, and I had Rebels, and I had clones as well. I had 3 of the 5 main armies, quite an extensive amount. But when we saw the new miniatures that were coming out and the way they had changed, I was like, if I stay in the game, I need new cards, and I'm going to buy new miniatures, because the new ones are so much better than the old ones. It's just a thing. Welcome to the future, lack of foresight. Okay. So I do this a bit later than, you know, if I had my way, I'd do this at 8 PM and be in bed with a cup of tea and slippers on by that hour. But anyway, yeah, Legion. So they re-released it, and as soon as I saw that coming, I was like, right, I'm going to dump my Legion, because I know new miniatures, I'm going to want the new stuff, and I'm going to end up with the old stuff. So went into it, and I sort of wanted to keep an eye on it and to see how it developed, but I've just become aware that we are now getting the first looks at the launch boxes. Now this is $100, but you get a lot of stuff in here. All of these are over 30 miniatures, so 37 in the Imperial side of things. You get all the dice, you get all the movement tokens. If you're not familiar with Star Wars Legion, it's quite funky, because you have these custom dice, you have cards for all of your troopers, you have measuring widgets. There's no inches or anything like that. There is the little sticks that you can see that are curved. Those are for your movement, and then you have these longer sticks, which are your range bands. And it's really quite a tight little system. It's quite light and fluffy, when you first look at it, but there is a depth and there is a range of different stuff that it does that it works really well. I was always a fan of it. It was always fun. But I really wanted to see what they were going to do with it, you know, what direction it was going to go. Now I'm hearing that the rules side of things is solid, which is nice. But that kind of price point for a buy-in is really solid. 37 miniatures. And when you look at these, the man himself, they are nicely detailed, they are nicely posed, there is a dynamism to it, there's, you know, these are very unique looks and feels, even though they're going to be stormtroopers that all look stormtroopery, you know? They are really, really nice sculpts and have really changed from where they were in the previous edition. So I'm kind of impressed with this. It's up to 600 points. I'm not entirely sure actually where they play now, because I haven't looked into it that far, because I'm trying to resist Kaz. Thank you so very much. But 600 points, I'm guessing it's about 50% of a game. So yeah, I get it with the disliking the cards. It's something you like or you dislike. What I liked was that you then put your cards down on the table with all the unit stuff around them, and you can see it looking down at your table, what you've got where and all the rest of it, and that was really nice. Yeah, I think they've made it bigger. I think that's the direction they've gone. I don't know how big, what they've done with the Separatists, to be honest with you. Should I see if I can find it? It releases on September 19th, so it's right around the corner. It's a week away. So let's see whether they are still called Separatists. No, they're not. That would be too easy. That would be way too easy. Can't remember where I found that one as well. But, oh, there we go. Galactic Republic, Separatist Alliance. So you can't search Separatists, but let's put them up on screen. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like they've done the whole thing of making the squads bigger. So yeah, you're right on that front. They have made them bigger, which, yeah, it's the way of things at the moment, isn't it? A lot of systems, they've just gone and made them bigger, which, yeah, I don't know. It's a plus or a minus. Smaller squads and played on lower points values and new kits and rules will be. Yeah, I hear you, Blissful Badger. It's the way of things at the moment, isn't it? That everything's just going bigger. It's more stuff, which is not ideal. I was looking for big games myself. This might get me back. Yeah, me too. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's pretty. 600 points is the minimum version game and plays at 1,000. Cool. So that's the standard size game is 1,000. Good to know. 1K. You never needed the cards, I guess. There were army builders and stuff and you could print that out, but I liked the cards. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. That's... We both get into the game and we'll both have a game. That won't be the cost of the miniatures that's going to be the expensive bit then. That's going to be the plane ticket so that we can have the game. That's going to be the challenging bit. I mean, I'm up for it. Why the hell not? Because actually, I need the plane ticket for work. This is, you know, this is for the channel. Need to do a lot more super chats for that to work. Oh, you're going to come this way? Yes, come this way. Even better. Do it. Come to the Netherlands. We shall have fun. There will be beer and our toddlers can toddle. It'll be amazing. 6 full squads of B1s. That looks like a lot of clankers now. Really, you have the option to make them bigger. Yeah, but if they have the option, then almost certainly they're going to be incentivized to do so. There's also almost certainly going to be a benefit to doing that. Anyway, we shall see. Yes, it's six euros minimum because I need to, you know. There's €6 minimum to get towards the target, unfortunately. I wish you could make it on €2, but then there'd be like a lot more that we'd need. So, lot of beard. Hello, you made it. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Hello. In the middle of anarchy. I've made it. Hang on, where am I at now? I've done that. I've done that. I skipped down to that one. So there's that. So we still have lots more to do, and I've got technically 9 minutes left of the stream, so that's overrunning. Things die faster. 1K feels perfect. So is it still a fast game, Kaz? Is it still as quick as it ever was? Work took me up. I showed up. I appreciate that, LARP. I appreciate the dedication to being here. Appreciate you. Outstanding work. How expensive is a flight to the Netherlands? You had me at beer. There is so much beer in this country. Dear Lord. Beer and food. It's great. Interesting, Kaz. I will see what happens. I will see what happens. The question is, do I go clones? I don't want to go rebels. I don't want to go rebs. I don't want to go empire. So it's probably going to be clones or CIS, but I don't do. Yeah, we should see. One way around air cans. 1st of January would be almost 600 Canadian dollars. So I don't know. Is that a lot? To be honest with you. Okay, maybe save up a trip then. Do it. You are always welcome, my friend. You are always welcome. There will be beer and fun and dice rolling. And in fact, if you make it on a weekend or a time when the gaming club's going, you can come along to that and experience the full Dutch force. It's amazing. They're fantastic people. You should definitely do it. Not just to see me and not just to throw dice, but it's definitely worth it. It's much faster than it used to be. Other games was sit back and plink. Now it's full on fighting from turn 1. Violence. We like it. Now I have to buy... No, Chris, not my fault, Kaz. I didn't do this. It's not my fault you have to have 2 systems. That was Kaz. I was not I was nominally involved. You play Empire and Clones. Cool. I play Empire and Droids. Yeah, see, I played everything but Empire, and that's because one of my good friends, Gitsnick locally, is a huge Empire fan, so he was all over that whole Stormtrooper business. So I left him to that and just did everything else. It's not enough to make it an impulse. An impulse weekend to fly from Canada to the Netherlands. The jet lag alone stops it being an impulse, I think. But you know, that's cool. I'm up for it. Let me know. Just let me know when you're coming. It'll all be fine. Beer, dice and fun. Whoop, whoop. Not too bad for crossing an ocean. Not really. A substantial chunk of the world. Embrace the dark side. Kaz. Get yourself in trouble, young person. The hard part is telling my wife on why I need to make a work trip. She can come too. I have kids and a wife. They can wife and kid together. It'd be great. I have 142 Rebel models and 76 Empire models. I'm sure I can make... Dear Lord, Blissful Badger. And are they painted? Because if they are, I am genuinely impressed. Okay, yeah. If you're in the army, sleep is optional. I hope to one day make it to the Netherlands, as that's where my family heritage is from. I can recommend it. I came over here, Brexit. My then new girlfriend, now wife, was Dutch, and I was like, right, I want to stay in the EU, even if the UK doesn't. I'd never been. All I knew about it was loads of weed and partying, because that's all the English people know about the Netherlands. And I came over here and I was like, ooh, they have windmills too. But it's a very, very awesome place, and I highly recommend that. Highly recommend that. I've never been happier in my life than since moving here, so very cool. If I'm not in trouble, I've done things wrong, asked the wife. To be fair, that's how I live my life too, Kaz. That's the whole point. So, 58 painted. Okay, so you are mortal, Blissful Badger. If you'd said they were all painted, I was just, well, I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have felt huge amounts of guilt and shame at my piles of unpainted stuff. So I'm glad that you're just as bad as us mere mortals. Chrome wash and whitewash black. It's not quite that simple, LARP bid. There's a little bit more to it. There's details and stuff. Actually, more than tempted. So we have to talk, mate. Yeah, do reach out. It will be a super cool collab, and it will be absolutely bonkers and stupid and a complete giggle. So, abso-frackin-lately. We'll get you on the Discord, and then we shall discuss. Don't forget the odd footwear. Yeah, clogs, they're a thing. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was like a historical thing, but you can go to, so clogs are wooden footwear. They are made of wood and they're for your feet. Just wood. And they're worn by farmers and stuff like that today. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't think that was a thing, but you can go to like a garden centre and buy them. Not like bright, but like genuinely for, yeah, very strange. Not, I've tried them on, won't be getting any. Very strange. Clogs, cloggy clog, cling, windmills and weed are awesome. Not at the same time, Kaz. You need to split that stuff out a little bit. Very different climate from the sunny Florida. Yes, very different climate. It's more like the UK, which is to say, everyone thinks it rains all the time, but it doesn't. So, third and first Carol division helped liberate the Netherlands too. Yeah, there is, so in the local city to me, there is a Panther tank that was given to the city, local city is Breda, was given to the city by the Polish who wintered here after liberating the city. So to say thank you to the locals for being so lovely and accommodating, they left a Panther behind. So there's a Panther, just, you drive through the city and suddenly it's like, Jesus, huge tank. Wow, big tank. Anyway, so yes, very fun, very fun. Fun fact, area of South Lincolnshire I live in is called South Holland. Indeed, I don't live in Holland, I live in the Netherlands. Holland is a region of the Netherlands. So all of Holland is the Netherlands, but not all of the Netherlands is Holland. True fact. And I care about that way more than Dutch people do. Got to count out my imps now. Lord. We could do a themed Flames of War game too. Oh my dear Lord. Miniature for canoes. Accurate. They are. So lack of foresight, the winner gets clogs. Whatever game we play, the winner gets clogs. This is the way. You're super distracting. It's fine. I'm basically a kitten. And it's why I do this, to chat to everybody and to have the funsies, so you do it. I think miniatures out of wood too. You guys are weird. It's not a you guys. I'm technically an import. I've been here many years, but the accent, I'm not actually Dutch. Although I would like to be, because I think that's really cool. And they are very cool. I love them dearly. All right, bit fun. Thanks for the Legion talk and the impulse by a Frenchman. The MOREcrow. Yay! See you in the Discord. Yes, you will, Kaz. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Don't work too hard, but work enough that you get miniatures. Balance it. I'll have to add to that. Let's see if I come then. You should. It's also so flat. Joe, it really is. It's perverse how flat this country is. Very, very weird. Very, very weird. We're not going to get to everything on the list tonight. There's too much on the list. I was optimistic. So, I'm going to do a couple of quick things and get those through that I need to talk about. So we talked last time about the fact that I have an interview coming up with the writer of the new Infinity book, Death Song. That book comes out on the 23rd of this month. So, yes, we have that one coming up. I am having a chat to Gabriel Miller on Friday of this week, doing an interview, and then it's going to drop on the launch day of the book, 23rd. So patrons and members, there'll be a post coming up that you can put questions that you have for him about that. So it's going to be a JSA book. It looks really cool. It looks really interesting. I think I've got a review copy coming, so I'm going to read some of that before I do the interview, and then we'll do a review of the book as well. So that's cool too. But if you have any questions for the author, Gabriel Miller, do look out for those posts and whack that on and let me know, because we should support this stuff. Sometimes the lore for Infinity can be a little sporadic and inconsistent. Novels will pad that out. I'm a writer, I'm biased as all hell. Let's just put that on the table, all right? I am biased as all hell, but it will expand the universe. It'll also get more people interested in the system, so we need to support this stuff, so do look out for that post and get any questions that you have for Gabriel on there. Yay, nothing off the list. Whoop. Next thing to notify of is that this week we had the announcements for all the satellite tournaments that are coming up for 2026 for Infinity. If you've not come across a satellite tournament before, we mentioned the Interplanetario. That is a 3-day tournament that happens in Vigo, Spain, which is the HQ area of Corvus Belli who make Infinity. It's done directly in association with, it's basically run by Corvus Belli, the effective World Championships. That's basically what you're looking at. 160 players, I think they said this year, 180, something stupid like that. Came together, 3 days of battering the snot out of each other with D20s, and then a winner was crowned. On the lead up to that, through the season, so we're about to hit the 17th season of Infinity Tournament System, ITS. Through ITS 17, there'll be a number of big tournaments called satellites. Those satellites, if you win it, you get an automatic entry to the Interplanetario. So you can go there and you've got a ticket and you're in. And we have one. I will be TOing a 50-player satellite tournament called Hope's End on the 23rd and 24th of May next year, right here in the Netherlands. So any of you guys that are within striking distance and fancy coming to that, look out for announcements of the availability and all that kind of stuff coming soon. It's kind of a bit of a freak out. I applied for it. I was like, right, we're going to do this thing and we're going to see how that goes. And then, yeah, we got it. I was a bit shocked. I didn't think we would, but we did. So yeah, I'm putting together my team at the moment. We have our venue already. It's where we game, and we've got nearly enough tables already. We've only got the 25 tables organised, so those are going to be sorted relatively soon. And it's just incredibly freaky. I'm looking forward to it so much. It's been a while since I've run a 50-player event. 2 days, 5 games, 50 players, 1 winner. It's going to be epic. So look forward to details of that. I'm also going to do some stuff about it on the channel as well. Joe, I probably will need some fancy bits, yes. So yeah, I think that there's going to be some stuff on the channel about organising this scale of event, and I'm going to do some video and some streaming, maybe some live streaming of the event. We shall see if I can make that work. I think that would be really cool if we could, just to have, you know, some games live streamed, but we shall see. We shall see how that works. Maybe not the first year, because maybe we'll just be getting our feet wet with all the craziness that scale of event has, but we shall see. Larkbeard, you did how? Yeah, I've heard good things. There were some locals from here that went too, and I heard good things. How was it for you? How did you place in the end? What did you take? Details, young man. Question, I heard in Discord that you were planning on doing a stop motion Infinity movie with all your miniatures and terrain. My question is, are you doing all the voices for each miniature yourself? I'm not doing that. That's a complete lie. Stop it. It's never going to be one of the options. No. Although, for Hope's End, for the thing, there is going to be some stuff that I'm doing like that, and that, yeah, look out for that. That's coming. There's some stuff coming. No more. Just wait and see. I have a whole plan. It's going to be amazing, but not stop motion. There's, I've forgotten his name now. There was a guy in Australia who, Val SC, he did some stuff like that. He did some stop motion stuff. It's not my bag. So yeah, there's that. It's just, you're a bad person overboard. We all need help. Feet won't be wet if you wear your miniature. This is going to be the thing now, isn't it, Neil? Miniature foot canoes. The notions have been for. This is why none of you can have nice things. As someone who just did that, don't. Doing all your own is hard. Yeah, it never sounds good. No, no. I have plans for, yeah. I'm not even going there. Didn't place too high, but it was fun. Fair play. I've heard good things. I heard it was a lot of fun. Oh, for movie. They're not for. We're not doing a movie. Stop, Joe. Overboard? No. Stop it. Bad people. Yeah, Zombie Sashimi. I think he does some bits too. He does. I love it. His stuff amuses me. I have a lot of love for him. I'm hoping that one day he's going to make it back to the motherland and will come over here because he's based in Japan. He's a fantastic mammal, and more people should see his Twitch channel. I try my dangest not to swear on here because I don't want you. Don't push it. The Joes have it. You've got to be Joe King. Joe King. No, that makes it sound even more like you should have your own way. No, both of you, bad Joes, back in the corner. Stop it. Anyway, so look for more stuff coming about Hope's End soon, both from the perspective of supporting community, developing this type of event, running this type of event, but also if you guys want to come, if you fancy coming along and spending 2 days in the company of moi, under my authority, which you will respect, and throwing some dice and playing on some beautiful tables and meeting some Dutch people and absolutely wearing clogs, look out for that. It's why I don't monetize my streams. It's so hard not to swear for me. It's not, I don't have a problem not swearing. I can swear like a trooper, but I do normally swear like a trooper. But I know that there's some people that it doesn't resonate with. That's more why I do it. I'm less concerned with what YouTube et al. Thinks, and more that I know some people don't like it, and there's a lot of reasons to disconnect from wargaming, and me not being able to not swear for 2.5 hours joined up isn't one of them. So I keep it to myself. Neil, you just make me tired. Freaking hell. Infinity, Operation Foot Canoe, coming soon. Do you little no, stop it. Okay, now we're gonna get proper Dice Gods clogs for the last place. No wooden spoon here. Oh no. Oh no. Wooden shoes. People can hear you coming. It's definitely a thing. I think I was trying to correct in what I said the other day. It's hilarious. That's the thing. I try not to around my girls. I do very occasionally. Something will slip out. Yeah. I copped a very hard plastic toy to the nuts the other day, and that got a bad word or 5. Dice God themes clock. Stop it! I'm working on the merch. There's some very entertaining merch coming. There's going to be t-shirts and all sorts of stuff. I'm actually going to do a t-shirt with "It Depends" written on it because it's got to be on my headstone. Van Diem, stop it. Clog theme coffee, for God's sake. I'm so very tired all of a sudden. Just saying silly British words. But unfortunately, my daughters increasingly speak beautiful English. And the eldest, who's at school, has been known to tell their teacher that they don't speak Dutch, they only speak English. Which is very funny. Need your list and your shoe size. If I put in an event that I need people's lists and their shoe size, it makes it sound like I've got a fetish, and that's just weird. No, it's better than stop rubbing it in. You heard it here, folks. Infinity the movie featuring miniature wooden shoe tags. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'd legit buy a clog-themed coffee cup. Not even joking. Okay. Ah, dear. That's it. Okay, we're going to do some clog-themed merch. What we need is some kind of clog dice tower as well. I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking of putting the lad into French immersion. It's such a superpower being multilingual as a kid. You know, my eldest can speak English quite comfortably, and it's really interesting seeing her around her Dutch friends who there's a lot of English in Dutch society, so it's quite pervasive. But she's relatively fluent in English, and they are like, and you pick up, you do English from a very young age over here. So the fact that she's native, well, she speaks like me, we're calling it native, it's just going to help so much with her education. It's just going to propel her forward. So, you know, it's all good. Promise not to offend. The term is kink shame. Thank you very much. I'm told. Joe tells me. That's how it is with those Amsterdam folk. You know, Amsterdam is to the Netherlands what London is to England, what like most capital cities are to the rest of the country. It's not the same thing. You go to Amsterdam, it's full of a lot of English people. Irony saying that, being here and being English, I know, but it's just not the same thing. Anyway, ruffle stomp with clogs. Yeah, this is best. Van Diem, you're Dutch. Don't get involved. I guess I need wooden D20s for Infinity now. That would be cool. With a little clog symbol on the one. That would be very cool. I was talking to a manufacturer the other day about making custom dice for the channel. And we could stick a little clog on the one, but they only did metal and plastic. I was very tempted by the metal. It's a super present adult year, especially when you have most good paying government jobs require fluent bilingualism. Exactly, it's so potent to have, and it also sets your brain up to learn more languages. So, but a lot of Dutch people are sort of 3 or 4 languages. It's quite intimidating as an English person to come over and only have one. Well, English and your local regional dialect. But yeah, a lot of them are 3 or 4 languages, and it's kind of, my wife speaks English, Dutch, and German to a comfortable level, and I'm over here. English, Dutch, I can, but not great. Oh God, we're still on clogs, guys. I thought I was joking about the fetishism. Infinity's new books, clogs. For God's sake, I feel like I need to bring out a custom box now. No. We have a bunch of Eastern European kids that live in our street, and seeing them out playing is cool. They speak English to each other, and then one of their mums will come out and start shouting in, yeah, whatever, Lithuanian, Polish, amazing. Operation Windmill. The first tournament that I ran in the Netherlands was for newbies, and there's a lot of bikes in the Netherlands. It's not a stereotype, it's a fact. And so I called it Operation Training Wheels, but in Dutch. That was very funny. I was very amused by myself. Dice out of another material is neat. It is, and I like the idea of metal ones because then if you have to, no, I think it's nice. Windmill Dice Tower, the Glog Tower, yeah, Christ. a limited edition Dice Tower windmill storage box with the clog dice. It is clearly the way forward. Definitely the way forward. I have a pair of black and, yeah, that's so cool. I can speak bits of French. I can peck at French. Enough to be dangerous or get myself in trouble. Yeah, it's always worth trying. Always the skills. It keeps the brain going as well. New room. Oh, gracious, for the love of God. Yes, so there was a point when Hope's End. There's a type of... right, Dutch people fry everything. They do. It's kind of like English have fish and chips and, you know, you have your national meal. Over here, it's fried stuff. And one of the things you can get is a croquette. And a croquette is like meat. What's the best way of describing it? I'm trying to think of, I don't like it, so I'm trying to think of the polite way of describing it. It's like pate. It's not. Like, yeah, meat stuff in breadcrumbs, like a big sausage. Croquette. So we were going to call at one point our satellite the Croquetario after the Interplanetario, but I vetoed that and it became Hope's End because I want to put something narrative around it rather than the smell of fried food. Although it was close, more close than I care to admit. Make it in 50mm scale and I'll buy it for flames of Ah, the Clogtario. No, stop it. What would it take to get them put on cardboard like Battletech does for the starter box? Like, Oh my god! I can make the cheat sheets out of recycled clogs, carved. Some very nice croquette. I can imagine that it did. I can imagine that Vigo did, because it's not just here. But anyway, I'm moving on and ignoring. Can I ban words? Can I ban clog? Right. Other things that I'm going to announce before I go. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I was going to talk about something else, but I'm not going to now because it's, I'm not. I'm gonna give us another 14 minutes and then I'm going to go to bed. You can probably laser engrave a clock, for God's sake. I want to produce the finest range of clog-based prizes for Hope's End. I'm going to show it to all you guys, and you have to be at the event to get it. That's it. That's where the clogs will be. If this is what these live streams are going to degrade into, you guys talking about clogs like you've got a fetish. YouTube help. Blocked words. You can block live chat words that contain or closely match certain words. Nah. Lack of foresight, you've got my back. Yeah. It's a bit clogged up. Little stinker, don't join in. I like you. You're nice. I love your name. It's brilliant. Don't join in. You're not helping anyone. I'm going to do it all the time. Yes, you will. I'd be disappointed if you didn't. Tormenting live streamers is the purpose of this stuff. It is the purpose. So, anywho, last thing we're going to talk about. I think it's everything. I'm just not doing that last one. I was going to talk to you. The thing I was going to talk to you about that I'm not going to talk to you about is I was going to talk about choosing colour schemes for these guys for MOREcrow. I'm not going to talk to you about it now because you don't deserve it. That's why. Because you've been bad viewers. You could talk about painting this one and how she should look. I'm not going to do that now. You don't get it. No. You brought it on yourself. Think about what you did. But last thing we'll talk about is a little thing for members and patrons. I'm sorry, not for general release, but you can get it yourself. I'm starting to work. I'm starting to work with various companies now, and I'm going to be producing discount codes which are available to members and patrons. So we have one, surprisingly enough, for Sourceman Studios, because we're doing a lot with Sourceman at the moment, because I've just got a huge lot of love for them, and I think what they do is brilliant. They've given us a discount code which is going to be available to our members and patrons, and you can use it as much as you want, as far as you want. I'll be working with other companies as well to get member and Patreon discounts available too. So you'll be able to use those codes and get yourself money off buying your fun stuff. There's a lot of companies out there that do affiliate links and stuff like that. I don't kind of want to do that. What I'd rather do is, rather than getting the kickback that you can get, I'd rather that was taken off of members and patrons' bills for their toys. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for. So yeah, probably tomorrow. Actually, not after all this clog talk. After clogging my chat with the clogness, you don't get it. You can whistle. But there's going to be a discount code coming for that, and I'm working with other people as well that I'm going to start making more so that you can get cheaper stuff for your hobby, because you're lovely human beings and you should definitely do it. You should definitely do it. Just found an STL file for a clog. You're all dead to me. You're all dead to me. I have one last favour that I'm going to ask all of you guys, because if you're going to torment me and be horrible to me, well, no, you're not being horrible to me, but it sounded dramatic. So, if you're going to do that, if you have a Twitch channel, I'm trying to get my Twitch channel moving. So if you could pop over to Twitch and follow me on there, that would really help. I'm going to be doing, to my great nervousness, I'm going to be doing painting streams on Twitch for MOREcrow and for Infinity, mostly for MOREcrow to start off with. So I'm going to be live streaming, painting that. So if you want to see a grown man licking brushes, swearing and regretting his life choices, follow and do the notification stuff for Twitch, because I'm going to be live streaming over there too, and you can come and torment me. Hey, Blissful Badger! Woo! Hello! There's somebody new joined on there straight away. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you, Blissful Badger. That's so cool. So there's going to be the painting stuff on there. I'm also in chats at the moment. Did I tell you this, or you've been too bad? I mean, you've been good enough. I'm also in chats at the moment with a really, really good painter that I know, to do some videos for the channel on using oils as for painting miniatures, basically for doing pin washes and all this kind of stuff. Those basic skills, they're not a basic skill. The basics of using oils to do painting can feel a little bit impenetrable. So I'm going to talk to him about doing that, and then I will be using those skills in my own painting. So that will be you've seen how the good guy can do it, and now watch the idiot still lick his brush even though he's got oil-based paint on his brush. It's definitely a thing we're going to do, but that's what we're going to be coming up to. Is that who I think it is? No, it's not going to be the Double D. It's not going to be the Double D. So, unfortunately. Okay, it seems high. I don't know. I'd need to look into that one. Stop it. I was thinking just what I needed. More models, ignore my grey pile of shame and metal pile of shame and Silvercast and Unicorn. You do need more stuff. What days is the painting on? I haven't decided yet, Robin. There's a lot of things. I need to do tech tests to make sure stuff works first. And make sure I can do it in a way that's sensible and sustainable, because I'm going to need to set it up here and how that's going to look and all the rest of it. But the plan is to do that. So please do follow me on Twitch, because then it's not going to, I don't want to do everything on here. Thank you, Lack of Foresight. That's very kind. Appreciate you for that. But no, Joe, it's not going to be the Unknown Painter, who's somebody you should definitely follow. He's doing a lot on Twitch as well. He's there was a group of us in the UK that we all came together around Infinity, and we've stayed friends ever since. And a guy called the Unknown Painter does phenomenal work, and he taught me a load of stuff about using oil paints and stuff like that, and pin washes and all this kind of thing. So that's what Joe is referring to. Really, really, really lovely chap. Doesn't seem that's the way anymore, sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I'm going to look into that, because I used to have that too. Is your Twitch channel the same as your YouTube channel? Yeah, the Dice Gods WG. Everything for our socials is the Dice Gods WG. So, yeah, you'll find that there. And so is our Patreon, actually. So twitch.tv/the Dice Gods WG will get you on Twitch. I think it's patreon.com, the Dice Gods WG will get us there for Patreon. Kept it simple. The only thing that's different is the domain name for our website, so thedicegods.net. But did he? I didn't know that he painted that. That's interesting. But yeah. Double D, the Unknown Painter, is an absolute legend and one of the nicest human beings. Hey, Lovebeard, you've got me in stereo. Is it in sync as well? That would be hilarious if it actually is. But thank you so much. Appreciate that. My goodness. Getting followers all over the place. I appreciate it so much. I'm not... Okay. Well, never mind. Nope. I'm getting messages from Lovebeard on Twitch and on YouTube simultaneously, so it's just getting to inception levels of craziness. Needs to be changed to the Dice Gods. Neil? I am amused more than I should be. I don't think there's a .clog domain name. There should be, although that would be completely swamped by people in the drainage industry, let's be honest. So yeah. Anywho. So guys, as I try and wrap this up before more cloggy clogs, thank you all for joining this week. Thank you, Multiverse Miniatures. That is very kind. I appreciate that so much. That is very kind. So this week you can look forward to the first of the MOREcrow Traveller's Guide to MOREcrow videos. and there'll be another tactics video for Infinity on Friday as well. Then next Wednesday we'll be going to do a MOREcrow video every Wednesday, and then on Friday we're going to be doing Infinity and other stuff, and then live streaming on Mondays. So that's quite busy, isn't it? Are you guys bored of me yet? You should be, really. You should have better things to do than watch and listen to me, but it's cool. I really appreciate you coming along and spending time and going over to Twitch too, and just generally hanging out. And the guys who contributed towards the target, I appreciate that too. The super chats were really appreciated. That was very kind, but wish I could catch you more often, but I don't normally get dismissed before 60. What time is it there, Lack of Foresight? What time? I don't know. 6 hours, you said. So I guess I guess 11 o'clock is the earliest you'd be around. Anyway, always obliged, Neil. Thank you so much. Robin Wood Hartley Clock. Oh, dear Lord. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. Movie coming soon, Overboard. Of course it is, Poppet. We shall see. Need to bail, my friend. We'll talk probably soon. Love the pups, girls. Thank you very much, Joe. Always a pleasure. You are missed. I shall see you soon for gaming. Woohoo, MOREcrow, indeed. So much MOREcrow coming. I have a long list of stuff. It's going to be brilliant. I'll be watching a bunch of your Infinity videos this week as I paint some. Please do. And any feedback you have, like a foresight, will be much appreciated. 1727. Right, gotcha. We can figure something out. I want to stream for everybody. But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and you're all crazy. I really appreciate it. This is just amazing that you guys want to hang out and be on there for the live streams with me, so thank you so much. I hope it was interesting. Next week we should talk about more interesting and exciting stuff, and maybe we'll talk about what colours I'm going to paint these guys, or maybe we'll just talk about clogs and footwear in general. Who knows? You guys have a great week. I shall speak to you